Third Class Carriage is another look at the working class. Here, the riders are poor and can only afford third-class accommodations, which usually means no windows or compartments, only benches. Here, there are windows, but they serve a purpose. The windows are there for the narrative, to give us a sense of where we are. Otherwise, from a visual perspective, it would be very difficult to get across the idea that we're on a train. The workers are anonymous, insignificant, almost dumbly patient, their faces vague, impersonal, and blank. The unrehearsed detail of human existence is here for everyone to see. So let's look at this. What I've pointed out is a couple of key figures. Here we have this grandmother-like figure next to the child. Again, that idea of juxtaposition of age. Look, this child will grow to be old and continue to be in the third class. You'll notice the mother who's taking care of her child, breastfeeding her child. And that is again getting across the same idea, that juxtaposition. There is no social mobility, there is no moving up. And we have the man in the background who seems to be wearing a proper hat. But when you look a little closer, his suit is a little disheveled. His hat has rounded edges. And it's supposed to be a squared off top hat. Same with the gentleman up here. Those are the people of the third class who are trying to make it, who are trying to show the right characteristics, as it were, wear the right clothes. But of course, it's never quite right. You know, you find the right clothes or you believe they're the right clothes, but you can't afford to have multiple hats. So if it gets a little bit bent, you have to keep wearing it. And that's what we're seeing here, the anonymity of the working class from the perspective of the middle class and the upper class. These are nothing more than the poor, the people that walk the streets. And even in day-to-day life, we do the same thing. If you're walking around Pick and Save or you're walking around whatever grocery store, you don't sit there and think of these people as individuals, as Bob, who has a job and a wife and 3 children. You think of it as the guy who's in your way because you're trying to get milk. So that becomes really important here. He's basically showing us the anonymity of human experience and that these people are deserving of dignity, even if they seem anonymous to us. So as you look at it, you have to keep that in mind. This crowd is made up of individuals, but it's made up of individuals without a story. It's the anonymity of the working class, an anonymity that shouldn't be there if we're trying to help them out, if we're trying to give them social mobility and allow them to move up over time. Now, the style and composition used to create this feeling is very loose, and that's intentional once again. He's trying not to give us too much detail. And for those of you wondering, the square grids that we see are how he transfers his composition from paper onto a larger canvas. Using the grid allows him to, for example, count out grid squares and draw just the details in one square and then the next and the next. It allows for a very quick transfer of an image from a simple drawing into a painting.